afternoon. I am here sneakily. I'm not here for too long, maybe half an hour, but I am literally here because I'm on a different computer. I'm on my spare laptop because my other one is not working correctly. Hi. And so literally I thought, you know what better way to test it out than jump on and do some readings. So I'm just doing that. So if my sound or visual or anything else like that is a little bit shitty, let me know, please, because this is just my backup laptop. And I need to sort out my other one. All right. So hi guys, welcome everyone. As I said, I'm here for about half an hour. Please, as a common courtesy, always make sure that you follow my page or my YouTube channel before you ask for a reading. And most of all, I always just appreciate a thumbs up or a heart on the live feed. Helps me share my helps the algorithm share me out. So I do appreciate. And so please feel free to comment more than once if I do miss you, but I'm going to jump up to the comments now. And Susan, I see you. Just let me catch you. Susan, how are you? The screen's smaller here, but it's okay. I've got my glasses on. Would love a reading. Awesome. No, it's got a nice positive vibe as I tune in with you, Susan. It's funny, I'm just reflecting on a conversation I had this morning, and I kind of want to share the same energy out with you. And it's just that mindfulness to check in with self. And it's not because, something's off and something's wrong, that kind of vibe. It's more, I'm just going to check in with myself and just make sure, I'm feeling good and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And it's funny just how subtly things can get out of sync, And so I don't feel like I want to go to all that with you, but I want to say, just do a little bit of a check-in. It's like we're driving our car, and we think everything's all cool, but when we check the tyre pressure, we see that, one of our tyres is on 30 PSI and the rest are on 40. Fix it up. Keep going. Preventative. Let me pull you a couple of cards. Nice. You've got the support, the frustration, and the moving on cards, okay? And that's the thing around, as I said, it's just this beautiful energy around to go, hey, let's just do a little bit of a check on here and we keep moving forward. I want to say to you, though, when I'm sitting with your energy, I get a really strong sense of you connecting with things that you enjoy. Definitely Pacific's in that. So it's a social energy that's there. I've seen you come together in a group. It could be a volunteer thing. It could be something that you're making. It's that kind of energy. But I implore you just to explore a little bit more. So it's like, as I said, I just almost want to just snap the stagnation around you a little bit before it becomes actually stagnation, okay? So here's a duster. Go clear out your cobwebs. I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much for joining me. All right, let's keep going. Sweet. Karen, I keep saying your name. Karen. Awesome. I'm going to read for Karen, then I'll catch up with the comments. Hi, Elizabeth. It's been a while. Happy New Year. Thank you very much. I do see you commented again, though, and it's your name that I catch. Sorry, I hardly ever read the comments. It's the person's energy. Certainly would love a reading from you. Perfect. I saw that one and then scrolled back up to the original one. All right. Karen. It's funny, as I draw with your cards there, I'm getting that it's okay to let go, and it's okay to make choices and decisions and to be okay and things like that. And it's not, I don't feel like I'm running a bulldozer through anything. I feel like it's just this quiet energy there where I'm making, I guess, little decisions and silent choices for myself. It's almost like I feel a certain way in a situation where I'm expected to feel a different way. And I just want to say to you, just be content with your own feelings and thoughts and those kind of things, because for me, when I sit with you, there is a really nice, healthy energy that's there with it. But it's almost about giving yourself permission. Just giving yourself permission. And, it's funny when I keep saying giving yourself permission, all of a sudden I'm being taken off to adventure things like, I'm going to use something that's in context. I went jet boating a couple of weeks ago with the kids, it was lots of fun. It's that kind of vibe and energy that's there. So, make sure that you allow yourself to tickle your fancy a couple of times this year, all right? Pull you a couple of cards. Nice, okay. So when I pull your cards, you've got the letting go card, you've got the no card, and you've got the trust card. So the no's an emphasizer card, and so the card that comes with that is your growth card, okay? So let me explain with that. So letting go of things that bind us, and you can see the changed hands that release all those beautiful butterflies. And the no is the growth, and that's there. So don't stand in the way of that, okay? Because that growth tree there talks about self-awareness and opportunities and potentials and those kind of little bits and pieces. It's like I keep wanting just to bring everything back into this. It's nice. I see it like that too. You know, it's like all of this energy just comes in like this, like all in a flurry, and then it just lays out into a beautiful line in front of me. And it's all different colors, but I must say as it releases, it's blue and purple. And so you've got that trust, self-belief and self-trust is where everything begins, okay? So I just feel like it's this really beautiful, gentle reminder that you've got all this amazingness in with you without sounding like cliche, oh my God, you're an amazing person. It's not like that, but you've got this ability to shine. And for some reason, I feel there's an apprehension for you to let it. And I just really want to be some of that validation that allows you to do that, okay? So I'll leave that with you and I hope it helps. All right, catch up with the comments. So guys, as I said when I jumped on here, I am only here for about half an hour or so. I'm doing a cheeky live simply because yesterday when I was doing a live, my laptop shat itself to a degree, and it looks like that's a pretty permanent thing. And so I'm just over on my spare, and I just wanted to check the quality and everything before I jumped on for a long live feed. So please feel free to feed back at me if my audio or anything else like that isn't on par, please. All right, let me catch up with the comments. Lisa. Where'd you go, Lisa? There. Lisa King. What can help me bring a smooth ride for my career, please, or any advice? Thank you. A little bit of cleaning up, okay? So I feel like straight away I get 6 months and a little bit of cleaning up. And I feel like some of that cleaning up is self-regulation, you know, just all of those things that we would typically kind of run through, you know, what's in alignment, what's not, where is our energy going, all of those kind of things. There is a stubbornness that comes through with that, but I want to say that stubbornness comes off the back of like frustration. You know, I've been doing this for a while. It's not through lack of effort that you sit here with this sort of moment in and around with you. So it's like making a clear and conscious choice just to throw that energy forward. And so when we do that, you know, it's the same as if we do a big spring clean in the house. And I don't feel like I want to say to you that you need to do this massive spring clean in your life. It's more so just going, okay, where am I going to start? And just bringing everything kind of back to play, getting those things organized, okay? When it comes in and around the work side of things with career and things like that, what I'm feeling like and what I got shown initially there, it's like if we need to be at I'm going to say 9 out of 10 with things just because I don't want to create the illusion of perfection, right? So if we need to be at a 9 out of 10 here and a 9 out of 10 here, I feel like we're sitting at a 7 and an 8 here and an 8 here, you know? I feel like there just needs to be almost a upgrade, I guess is a word because that's what's in my head, but it's more about just bringing it back up. Silly thing that comes into mind, but I'll use it as an example. When I did my workplace trainer and assessor training, then they brought in a different module, and I had to have that module to actually keep moving forward with the certificate. It's that kind of thing. I've just got to slip something in, okay? There's, again, a frustration that comes up with that. It's like, yeah, but I just feel like if you step back, you're going to see it's not this big, arduous task that gets handed down to you. It's just like putting a few little clicks and steps into play. Use your voice. Be excited. Okay, like you've earned your place and everything else like that. And sometimes I feel like it's like you're standing at the bottom of a mountain, you're going, hello, oi. But you got to be, pardon me, my voice even catches when I do that. Instead, you got to be going, oi, you know. And so let me pull you a couple of cards. Where do I want to go? Yeah, nice. All right. So when I sit with your cards, you've got the energy shifting for the better. So a change of luck. Okay. But you need to be the initiation in that. Okay. I was half expecting the female card to come out, if I'm honest with you. All right. And so that's an energy, a shift that's happening there. But as I said, clearing out the stables. Okay. And please look, big pile of shit that's there, you know, say out with the old and in with the new. And that's in the reflection of what I've just said there. And trust in your intuition, trust your energy, okay? As I said, this isn't a big arduous task. It's just about putting things into order, allowing them to move forward. And whilst the tiredness is there, just kind of resigning ourselves to the fact we're like 100 meters off the finish line, you know what I mean, before those shifts and changes can come into play. And so, yeah, that's what I have for you, and I hope that it helps. Thank you for joining me today. All right. Hey guys, I can see that there's a few new names here today, which is really cool. And so just so you are aware, I am only here just for a little bit of time because I'm just doing a test run on my StreamYard. Like by a little bit of time, I say at least half an hour. And so a good another 20-25 minutes I can sit here for. I am live again later on though. This was just wanted to check it out and I thought what better way. All I ask if you are here is to, if you would like a reading is please, absolutely just ask a question that you would like to ask. And as a common courtesy and as a general exchange of energy, please, I always ask that you follow either my page or follow me on YouTube, Instagram, those kind of things. I do not check, I just ask. But I always appreciate a thumbs up and a heart as well on the feed. It does help with the algorithm. All right, I'm just going to catch up a little bit back up here with the comments and then I'll jump back down. And you will see I do catch up with comments as well. So please feel free to comment more than once, but please do not comment. Debbie, I would love a reading if drawn. Awesome. Debbie. Debbie, you've got a cheeky energy. You got me thinking cheeky thoughts, I got to say. And keep that energy in play as well. You know, if you're not feeling particularly playful at the moment, bring us some of that cheeky delight in. You know, it's, it's sweet. Oh, see, that's the overthinking. Yeah, it's interesting sitting with your energy, I must say, Debbie. One, as I said, you've got such a beautiful, playful energy about yourself, and I think that I'm very strongly reminded of that because it's an asset for you. It's a tool, you know. And I'm not saying that we hide our emotions and everything else behind, silliness and sarcasm by any yards of the stick, but it's certainly a delightful place to play when it's in the right frame. Okay, and so just for whatever context, keep that sitting in your head at the moment because as I sit with your cards, you've got the external conflict card, you've got the freedom card, and you've got the sunset card. And for those that are just joining me as well, these are my cards. I made them just as a visual for the readings as far as it sits. The external conflict card, it always talks about conflict caused by outside forces or people. And when I sit with you, Debbie, it feels like you're sitting with, several situations, not just with outside conflict, but with internal and, bills to pay and jobs to do. And, it's just like everything's almost coming at you at once. There's a freedom card that comes. And the moment that I laid hands on that card, it kind of sat there and spoke to me about the fact that I know words are easier said than done, okay, but letting some of these things go, it's like you're carrying other people shopping in from the house when you've got 5 bags of your own, and these people are just sort of, oh, can I grab the door for you? I've got free hands. Meanwhile, you're like, just really kind of step back and have a look at that because our compassion and our loyalty sometimes can create a situation of hands that we're holding or hands that are holding us down, okay? Keep it in context. Again, you've got some beautiful energy in and around you, but just I feel like you're a little bit, what's the word? I want to say it the right way. A victim of your own demise is what's in my head, but I feel like I want to be a little bit more gentle of it because it's, again, learning no, okay, and just putting some little sort of boundaries around place. You got the sunset card that's there, okay, and this talks about the end of an era and the end of way of doing things, and I feel that this energy hits you over the next sort of, I'm going to say several months, but I get 4 to 6, okay, and within that, I feel like there's going to be some choices and decisions that aren't necessarily your own, and I will say I do come to work with you around with that. I do feel like it's not necessarily job loss, but job change, okay? So if it's a change of shift, change of management, change of ownership, there's something that's there, but allow it to actually move you forward to where you want to be, okay? Because it's an energy that does bring a little bit of upheaval that's there with it, all right? I'm kind of just sitting in my head, like going back with myself as I'm talking to you and seeing if it's anything to do with house and things like that with it. It's like I want to come back to this way with it, okay? And so just when I sit with you at the end of the year, your energy is in sync. So when I say go with the flow and roll with the punches, I want to not be flippant when I say that with you. I say that to you because there's an ability to do so, and it'll actually lead you to I want to smile when I sit in the energy of the aftermath, okay? And so very much take that energy on board in the context in which it lives, and I hope that helps. All right. Beverly Wilson, I would appreciate a reading. Thank you all. I would appreciate a reading. I'm singing, I would appreciate a read. I've got it going off in all different tones in my head. It's nice though. The energy in which I enter with a person is always very reflective, and yours certainly has me feeling happy. So that's nice. All right. It's funny as I say that, I don't feel happy though right now. All right, let's have a look and see. I want to say to you, if there's some expected changes coming up with you, they're actually going to fall a lot better than what you think they are. So when I'm sitting with your energy that's there, okay, it's almost like you're expecting, it's got the vibe of like in a couple of months from now, you're expecting your workplace to change ownership, big redundancy, let's not be too extreme as I keep going, but it's that kind of vibe and energy that's there to it. In 3 months' time, the house I live in, the owner's going to sell, I'm going to have to move. It's got to, no, that's going to actually be okay. And when you've got the crossroads card there, which talks about decisions and choices and directions. And so it's got this energy of you're going to be moved to a certain place. And I want to say to you that there's going to be an option that comes into there, okay? I want to be a little bit more precise that's there with it. Say, for example, it's the landlord and he's like, in 3 months' time, I'm going to sell the house and you have to move. And because you've only got that certain amount of time, you're kind of a little bit restricted, okay? That landlord energy is going to come back and go, look, I am still selling the house. However, take 6 months and then you've got that extra time to actually be able to move to where you want to move. You move and it turns out you absolutely love the place. That kind of energy that belongs with it, okay? So there's a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of clouded judgment, but just keep, I hear, look at the facts, okay? It'll create clarity that's there. You've got the sunset, which talks about the end of an era. The end of an era is always the end of the way that something was done, and it's not about going, okay, I'm done with this, I need to move on. It's about going, it's time to move on. I'm going to take the good that was there, but I also acknowledge that it is actually time for me to move on, okay? You had a jump card, I haven't looked at it. You've got the no exaggeration card. That's there with it. And that no is always just that emphasis. No, don't believe that this isn't an energy that can't come into play, okay? So take the negative out of it and just throw some really positive energy. You're going to find clarity comes your way in about 2 or 3 months, okay? I hope that helps. Montaigne, sorry, the screen's smaller, and as you can probably see, I can hardly read it. Montaigne. Oh, yeah, I can come over there and see it. Beautiful. Do I have a guy from my past returning to reconcile with me? I want to say a no on that one. It's got a pretty clear energy connected to it as far as it goes. Interestingly, though, I'm curious to see if you've reached out, like the energy goes the other way. Old habits die hard, okay? Old habits die hard. This isn't a negative thing for you, even though it might sound like an opposite answer to which you want to receive. It's actually a really positive thing for you. Let me pull you a couple of cards. Yeah, it is. A little bit of patience, okay? As I said, I don't think that's the answer that you actually wanted. You've got the freedom card there, which talks about self-love, release, and determination. As I said, this is a positive energy for you, but you've got the answers are blowing in the wind that's there. So it's almost like you walk away with more questions than what you do answers. And the answers come within the learning that you will actually go through, okay? I do feel like you've got like a couple of years around you before there's a really full settled energy that's there. You've got a little bit of a tendency to bite yourself on the bum a little bit, but it's not through, it's through, you strike me as really beautiful and compassionate and kind and very patient with others. It's all of that energy. There's a lot of energy that's going out, but I just feel like you've been a little bit of a punching bag along the way. And so that's where I feel you're stepping out of that energy, which is where I say to you, this is actually a really positive thing. Okay. So I hope that helps. Thank you for joining me. All right. I'm going to catch up with the comments. Barbara Jane. Hello, Elizabeth. Can you tell anything? My work situation, my boss is toxic. Yeah, fair. The first thing I want to say to you is the Care Bear thing, right? If you guys can't see my belly, it doesn't matter if you can't see my belly. My hands are on my solar plexus for those. Okay, but like think about the Care Bears for those. Everyone's got to know what the Care Bears are to some shape or form. They've got these patches on their belly that's there, and so Rainbow Berry shoots out rainbows and, love happy. So what my point is, okay, our solar plexus that's there. It's funny how much like truth sometimes lies in, like, when you're an adult and you watch kids cartoons again and you're like, hey, hang on, I know what that is. But our solar plexus, it's a beautiful source of our energy. We've got our third eye as our intuition, personal belief, opinion, educated experience, whatever. But the solar panel, the solar panel. Oh, I've been working on my van too long. The solar plexus. It's a really beautiful, strong energy. And so when I think about the Care Bears, it's a really great metaphor to use. Thinking about your boss, okay, your energy, your vibe, and everything else, and probably a lot of other people's as well. Don't want to imply you're doing the wrong thing, but it's walking in expecting a toxic boss. It's walking in expecting a certain level of environment, those kind of bits and pieces, okay? And so just allow that to shift a little bit, not for your job, not for anything else, but for you, okay? And so care bearing. And so when you walk past your boss or you come into the environment that's there, imagine yourself as you're walking in on the day, you're full of love hearts in your solar plexus, and you're like, and you're throwing them all out everywhere. That energy and that intention alone is going to create an energy shift that's there within you. Okay, remember that this energy is about them and not you as well. So it's almost like everything's over time, your mouth's being stretched open to the point where he's able just to walk up and pour shit down your throat. And it has that instant effect, okay? So just boom. And it's an energy that's there. I feel like you're actually going to be able to shift past this vibe, okay? If you want to create a workplace environment that's different and leave and do all of those kind of little bits and pieces, don't cut your nose to spite your face, because I feel like the process takes about 2 months. This is actually, again, another good learning curve for you as far as it sits. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because it's always a valuable asset in life to learn how to deal with assholes. You know what I mean? This is good, and it's going to link you a lot stronger back to your own intentions. You'll find yourself one day, I don't know, in the shopping centre with somebody driving you crazy and taking you back to that same, Care Bears. Care Bear him. How are you? That's great. I hope you have an awesome day. You won't be used to it. You'll want to be your best bud in a couple of months. It's a very, very good energy trick. All right. Jenny McDonald. Yeah, I caught you today. As soon as I saw you are on YouTube again, I figured I'd watch here instead of. Oh, hello. I know that name. How you going? Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Very cool. And yeah, I'm back on my platform where I'm able to bring YouTube into it as well, which is really nice. So awesome. Let me pull you a couple of cards. It's funny. I've got a lot of energy running through my mind as I read for you today. And as you can see, I've probably sat with a smile on my face through there. Let me pull your cards first. You've got the Crossroads card, which talks about, again, direction choices and things like that. You've got the Letting Go card, and you've got the Heartache card. When I sit with these cards, okay, I want to say it's like... It's some at the end of a journey of healing and self-awareness and growth and all of those kind of little bits and pieces. We've got a lot left over. That's wrong. But we've got that residual left over that's there, right? How I'm seeing it in my head for some silly reason is, when we sweep the floor and you put it into the dustpan and there's just that little bit where you got to move the dustpan back and get that line that's there. Think about what I'm talking about as that little line of dust where it just needs a little sweep up, and because when we find ourselves at the end of, again, this beautiful journey, and it's a perpetual journey. I know you're not right at the end. But we get left with that little bit of just that linger that's there, okay? And so that's where letting go, releasing the binds. You've learned so much. You've got so much energy behind you now, where I feel like it's like time for you to go, you know what? Now's the time for you to sit there and deliberately put yourself in front of things that scare you. And they can be simple things. And I always fill them with things that are joy, like going on a scary roller coaster and going upside down. You know, I'm so scared of heights sometimes that I jumped 14,000 feet out of a plane. The reason I did that is because I can no longer stand in front of anything that's a smaller fear than that. And that one's pretty massive and go, ooh, because I'm like, hey, you did that, you can do this, you know, and it's getting yourself up to that point that's there. What I'm seeing override off the back of that, look, yeah, the last card's heartache, challenging matters of the heart, but it is just making that conscious decision to let things go, because within that, I feel like there's potentially a couple of other people as well, you know. These aren't big, as I said, I do not want to create catastrophe around with this, but what I'm seeing is we've got like this year of energy that just sits around, floats in and around, and thereafter the choices and decisions that we make are a little bit different, you know. It's like, oh, I've always wanted to, I'm not saying you will, just an example, always wanted to travel around Asia alone for 3 months. Oh my God, that's so scary, I'd never do that, you know, but oh, I'd love to do that, but oh well, spend that year doing this sort of stuff, and it's just naturally going to come to you and go, you know what, all of a sudden I find myself ready. Hey, by the way, guys, I'm going to Asia for 3 months. You know, again, keep it in the context. It was just examples that's there. But gee whiz, you can probably even hear from the pace of my voice and everything else like that. So much energy that's in here. And I really just want to implore you to go, you know what, it scares me. Every weekend I'm going to do something silly that scares me, you know. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be silly, little, simple things that are there. Just do it, right? Thanks for joining me. All right, I'm going to catch up with the comments. Lindsay Kate. Hi, would love a card, please. Anything at all for me. Nice. This laptop has a smaller screen, so everything's a little bit smaller. All right. Lindsay Kate. I want to say to you, pay attention to your ideas. There's a buoyancy of those that are there throughout it. I feel like you've got some really beautiful connections with friendships that are there. It's almost like we've got more time coming up where we're able to connect more with people around us and those kind of bits and pieces. Because when I'm tuning in with your energy, I've got so much, I'm going here, I'm going there. And it's not this, oh, you're wearing yourself out in exhaustion. Every single time I'm connecting with that, I'm seeing you connected with people with a smile on your face, okay? And so you've got the support that's there around you. And again, the releasing binds card that comes up for you. But it talks about, see, the chained hands and breaking them away and, you know, releasing all the butterflies. And even I get it's cliche and I'm not even going to begin to explain how much I detest the cliche. But when you look at a butterfly, you know, and you look at the effort and the everything it does to create that cocoon shell around itself, and it sits there and it waits patiently, and it then grows into this beautiful butterfly. It's like there's nothing freaking cliche about it. It's absolutely amazing, you know. And so when we sit with that energy in and around ourselves, and that's why I'm being shown your friendships, make sure you're connected in with those friendships that make you feel that way. People around you should make you feel good. You know, do I walk away from this experience feeling uplifted, or do I feel like I've just been handed a whole shitload of someone else's drama? You know, all of those kind of things that are there. If you spend a bit of time doing that, I feel like you're actually going to hit a period of feeling a little bit lonely if you're willing to let go of the energies that no longer serve you. Okay, but when you step, you know what it is, you're stepping more and more into your own, and you're discovering more and more of who you are. It's like the story just keeps unfolding as I read for you, you know, because I feel like as soon as you let go of what no longer serves you, what does serves you all of a sudden has this freedom. Yeah, it's silly, I know, and I'm not sure if I've read for you before, but you'll see songs always come into my head. You know that, please keep it in context, but the Avril Lavigne song, Skater Boy, how she's way back when, and she's, you know, making choices and decisions that she thought, you know, her friends would be better, you know, like I didn't go out with you because you weren't cool, you know, and then years later all of her friends are buying tickets to go see a show and she's at home all alone. I'm sure you all know the song. I'm not saying you're repeating that or trying to like mimic the energy that's there, but it's that same kind of thing that comes up where it's like years later we reflect back and go, oh, I wish that I had made different choices, you know. And so I feel like you've got a little bit of insight and guidance now as to just sit back and just kind of have someone remind you, you know, we're supposed to feel good here. Experiences experiences are supposed to lift us up. Don't be afraid of letting go of what no longer serves. It's almost like just polishing things with you, okay? I don't want to say everything's out of whack, but just take that on board. You've got the third card as the worry and doubt, and it just talks about putting everything in its place. If we let everything come at us at once, it's going to come at us at once and hit us like a brick wall. Whereas if we're like, hey, I'm just going to sit, I'm just going to sit, and I'm just going to sit. I'm here in my psychic and capacity right now. I'm doing a live feed. I'm not sitting and worrying about the pack for membership I've got to go and organize because I've now got my transcript from uni coming. Those kind of bits and pieces. Put it in its place. Put it in its place. Put it in its place. Things just become easier to deal with in that regard. I hope that all helps, and I'll leave you with it. All right, guys, I have done 30 minutes. I'm going to do 3 more, okay? And then I am back later. I've got to just confirm the time. I know I do that sometimes, but hey, I'm here. That won't stay either. It's just through this week as I work out my new schedule. La-di-da-da. So, yes, I'm just testing my computer. Lisa Jackson, could I have some cards for me pulled, please? And I didn't say that the right way, but you're with me. All right. Lisa. Nice. That was the not having all the answers around love that just jumped out there, but I'm going to keep it flowing. All right. Lisa. I'm a shit shard. Tried to say card and shuffler at the same time. Shard. That's a word, isn't it? I sharded myself. I'm just giving the cards a good shuffle. Give me a second. All right, Lisa, let me focus. All right. When I sit with you, you've got the internal conflict card there. Okay, being caught inside of your own thoughts. Being positive. Your attitude is a choice. And yes, this card's a little bit in the gauntlet. If anybody doesn't know, this is my own deck of cards that I created, and it's one of 2 that exists, and I love it just the way it is. But being positive, your attitude is a choice. And this one can be sometimes a little bit of a whatever kind of card, because it is. It's like if it's a rainy day, do we want to whinge about the fact that it's raining, or do we want to, glorify the fact that all of our gardens are getting, watered and things like that? It was quite, the weather shifted yesterday afternoon, and somebody did actually say, oh, what a miserable afternoon. And I didn't say anything. I just, but I thought to myself, what, it's not. It's such a, it's a shift out. The way we look at things can make a really big difference, okay? And I just feel like that allowing yourself to have your own shifts and perspectives without anybody's input and influence and things like that actually clears out some of that internal energy for you. So standing strong. All of my cards have words along the bottom of them, and this is the card that is a little bit different because it's got that, you got this. That's how I want it said, you got this. It's got that you got this kind of vibe that's there. Almost, if I was your best mate, I'd be kind of just going, oi, giving you a little bit of stuff up there. What are you doing? Come on, this ain't you. Let's go. Okay, and so I do want to say with that, you've got a very progressive energy ahead of you that's there, all right? Just feel a little bit off kilter and say, give yourself a little bit of an ass kicking, but while you do that, give yourself a lot of loving, all right? All right. Kylie Annette, I would love a reading, please. Excellent. So, guys, I'm going to read for Kylie. Going to read for one more afterwards. As I said, this one's just a little bit of a quick read for me as far as it sits, because I wanted to check my laptop, and so I am back again later on this evening. But if you do ask for a reading, I please all ask that you do follow my page. It'll allow you to be notified when I am live, and also helps you identify scammers. I will never message you for a reading. I'll never ask for your credit card details online, all of those kind of silly little things. I have a secure booking system and a secure payment method, and that will be all that is ever used. And so by following me, I enjoy it. I like it, absolutely, but it does help safeguard you as well. All right, Kylie. Nice. Okay. You've got the letting go. Okay. Releasing blinds. So there's always a theme to today, and today this is the theme. you've got the heart card, the health card. The health card talks about long-term health, okay? And it's not just about physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, mental health, all of the different healths. When I sit with your energy, I'm always very mindful. I don't do deep dive health reads online by any yards of the stick. But when I do sit with you, I want to say I'm quite drawn around your digestive and those kind of bits and pieces. But the biggest energy that comes along with it is trust what your body is telling you. Trust what your body is telling you, okay? So if your body's telling you it needs a rest, listen to it. If your body's telling you it needs this, listen to it, all right? I feel like you've got this almost... I guess wave-like energy that's there, you know, the energy comes in and then it pulls out and then it comes in and then it pulls out, rather than just being, you know, that beautiful lake that just kind of just gently flows down. You've got this pull in, pull out, pull in, pull out. And within that's there's a little bit of else to feel. Why am I feeling that way? And just sort of recognize the emotion that sits with that as well. And then, you know, if we're doing it in a real purposeful ground of connecting to the Earth's electrical system, we see that energy exchange, we connect. Just stop for a second. That's how I'm seeing it in my mind with you. Is you just stopping for a second. And just listening to that quiet answer that comes thereafter, okay? I feel like within that there's some insight and guidance for you, all right? And so I'm going to leave that there with you, and I hope that helps. All right, so guys, I'm going to do one more reading, and then I will be back on again at this little... later on this evening. And so please, if you don't follow me, please do so. Always appreciate a thumbs up or a heart as you guys leave the reading this afternoon. And other than that, always thank you very much for joining me on my live feed. I said that so flippantly, didn't I? But, you know, thank you very much for joining me on my live feed. I genuinely do appreciate it very much. And so, yeah, it's always with genuine gratitude. All right, Tula, I'm sitting here watching your name. I'm going to pull you up for my last reading this afternoon, and I hope to see some of your names again back this evening. All right, Tula, would love a card, please. Nice. Okay. When I sit with you, you've got this... this is a nice positive energy that's there. It's like you're on the cusp of decisions, choices. I want to say, seal the deal, make a commitment to move forward, okay? And it's just like, yeah, let's do this. And you know what? I come into your energy on a cruise ship, okay? So I don't necessarily want to go all deep and heavy with this energy that's there. It could be like literally buying a house, but it could be as simple as going, you know what? We keep saying that we're going to go for a walk around the block every afternoon. We've been saying this for the last 2 months. Wait, come on, let's get off our butt and do it. You know, but I'm smiling. This is a positive energy that's there. And within that choice and decision, things shift, okay? So even if it is as simple, for example, as walking around the block, then I'm going to say you're giving yourself a massive prevention around heart attack. You know what I mean? It's that kind of vibe with it, even though it's not yet. That's enough that I don't need to go too deep there, right? Completions card that's there. As I said, it's just like, yep, let's just do this. Let's just do this, okay? You've got the where are you card. Now, that's generally quite a deep and heavy card that's there. And I've got to say, though, when I pull this card for you, it has very much got that energy of just checking in and reminding you why you're making these choices and decisions, why you're not allowing the energy to stagnate in and around yourself, you know. And it's interesting because I do sit with the energy of that card. I want to say that whilst you may sit very joyfully and gleefully with some of these choices and decisions, they may have a little bit of an impact on others. For example, you're going around the block every afternoon and dinner's cooked 20 minutes later. Let's say later, because you're not a restaurant. It's not late, but you get my vibe, you know what I mean? And so the other person's impacts like, oh, I'm hungry. You'll survive, mate. You can start cooking if you want, you know, There, you can see I want to be joking and silly. So please, as you sit back and you make these really positive choices and decisions in and around yourself as they come to you, and yeah, you're a considerable person, you're considering other people, but keep the perspective that's there, okay? It is really nice. And I do want to say to you as well with that, I'll just leave with you, as much as I've used the walking around the block analogy that's there, I keep getting taken forward with your energy of 12 months, and I'm feeling a pressure off of my chest. That's there. That is absolutely, definitely something to do with like cardio. Not saying you forget about the examples that I was using. This is like lungs, you know, when we were walking, we're like, oh, wow, I'm feeling a lot fitter. That's what I mean by cardio. But it's also, there's a weight off of your shoulders. There's a weight off of your shoulders. And I want to say that some of that is financial as well. The choices and decisions that you're making are positive ones, okay? So I'll leave that there with you, and I hope that it helps. So, guys, again, thank you so much for joining me on my live feed today. I am back this evening as well, and I have been grateful for the opportunity just to do a little bit of a test run on this laptop. It is my spare backup one because my laptop shut itself yesterday in the middle of a live feed and doesn't look like it wants. I think I just need to buy a external mouse, to be honest. I think that'll fix the problem for now until I'm able to upgrade. Either way, I'll stop my gibbering and am looking forward to seeing you all again a little bit later. And as I always say, if you can't be good at it. Be very, very good at it. Bye.